Hello everyone, this is the algebra review for Thursday. We are just going to start and jump right in. Number one, it's just rise over run, find the slope of the line. This is going up, so it's definitely a positive slope. Positive, because it's going up. And they're doing the rise over run for us. So the rise is 4 and the run is 4. So this slope equals 1. This is also a positive slope. It's going up from left to right. The run is 3. The rise is 2. So we're going to put 2 over 3. It is positive. It stays like that. M equals 2 over 3. This is a negative slope. It goes down from left to right. This is going to the right 4 and down -2. So the rise is -2 and the run is 4. And you reduce that to -0.5. Rise over run. So directions say the slopes of the 4 lines are provided. Slopes of 4 lines are provided. Tell which one is the steepest. Remember, the steepest line is the line is the slope that is furthest away from 0. So this is 3, 2, this is 4, and this is -0.5. So the answer is M equals 8 over 2. M equals 4. That is the steepest line. 0, -3. This is 2.5. And this is -3 over 2. And that's -1.5. So the steepest is -3. It is the furthest away from 0. Again, directions, the slopes of 4 lines are provided. Identify the 2 lines that are parallel. Remember, parallel lines have to have the same slope with a different y-intercept. Since we're only given the slopes here, it's just basically the same slope. So this is 6, and so is this, by the way. This is 0, this is 7. Remember, same slope. That means M equals 12 over 2, and M equals 6. Those are parallel lines. 0.75, 0.75, -2, 3 over 2 is 1.5, and this is 0.75. So the 2 slopes that are parallel are 0.75 and 3 over 4. Find the slope of the line. This time they don't do that for you, the rise over run. So I am just going to go ahead and do that rise over run, which is like that. So I'm going to count 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 4. And this is 1, 2. It is a positive slope because that goes up from left to right. Positive. So the rise is 2 over 4. M equals 1/2. We're going to go down and to the right. I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3. This is a -3. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is positive 5. This is a negative slope. Negative slopes go down from left to right. This is going downhill. So the rise is a -3 and the run is 5. It stays like that. A horizontal line has an M of 0. So it is just 0. The slope is 0. Going on to the next one, this is number 11. It says the points -5, 6, and x, 8 lie on the same line. If the slope is 4, what's the value of x? So they give you all of this, and they ask you, what is the value of x? And they give you the slope. So I'm going to do x1, y1, x2, y2. And m equals 4. So m equals, and I'm going to put y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. M equals, the m equals 4. So instead of m, I don't know why I keep on putting m, but instead of m, I'm going to put 4, because that's what they told me it is. Then I'm just going to do y2, which is 8, minus 6. And then I'm going to do x2, which is x, minus a -5. Double negative becomes a positive, so I'm just going to go plus plus like that. To make this a proportion, I am just going to put a 1 underneath, and I'm going to rewrite it up here. This is 4 over 1 equals 8 minus 6 is 2, just to make it easier for myself, and x plus 5. So now I'm just going to go and do the butterfly method. 2 times 1 is 2 equals, and then 4 times the whole expression of x plus 5 is that. Put it in distributive property, because remember, it's 4 times the entire expression. So this is 2 equals 4x plus 20. I'm going to go over here and rewrite it to give myself some room to solve. Subtract 20 on both sides. This cancels, you get -18 equals 4x. Divide by 4 on both sides. X equals, and I'm just going to go and bring up -18 divided by 4, and we have -4.5 as the answer. And that's it. Right? It's a lot of work for one question, but that's how you do it. So again, as soon as you see points, x1, y1, x2, y2, then you rewrite the slope formula, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. M is this slope, so I'm just going to put -2 over 3 equals y2, which is y, minus y1, which is a -3. I'm going to put the plus plus in because of the two negatives, and then 5 minus 9. I'm going to rewrite it up here, -2 over 3 equals y plus 3. And then 5 minus 9 is -4. You do that in your calculator if you want. Now I'm just going to go and do the butterfly method. This is -2 times -4. -2 times -4 is 8. Equals 3 times y plus 3. Just like that. Do distributive property, you get 8 equals 3y plus 9. I'm going to go back up here. This is 8 equals 3y plus 9. Minus 9 on both sides. This cancels. You get -1 equals 3y. You divide by 3. And y equals -1/3. Very difficult to find out any other way. That's how you do it. All right, number 13 is a lot of questions with number 13, but they're pretty easy. Let me just erase this because it's Yep, it's in the way. So it says y equals negative 2x. So I'm just going to put that here. Y equals negative 2x plus 5. And it's asking different questions based on this equation, linear equation. Does the line go up or down? It goes down. It has a negative slope. When does the line cross the y-axis? In other words, what's the y-intercept? The y-intercept is 5. What are the coordinates of that y-intercept? Remember, any y-intercept that you have, and I'm just going to draw a little coordinate grid, 5 would be here. That's the y. This is the x. This is 0, 5. Any y-intercept has 0 as the x-coordinate. Create an equation of a line that is parallel to y equals negative 2x plus 5. Same slope, different y-intercept. So the same slope, the slope is negative 2x. So I'm going to have to put negative 2x, and I could just put any other number there. So it's 10. Y equals negative 2x plus 10. You could put y equals just negative 2x. Those would be parallel because they have the same slope and different y-intercept. Create an equation that is steeper than y equals negative 2x. All you have to do is put any number that is further away from 0. It doesn't matter what the y-intercept is. The number has to be further away. Negative 4 is further away than negative 2. The graph of the linear function is y equals mx minus 12, passes through the point negative 2, 2. Calculate the slope of the linear function. Show your work. How many points do you need? This is a hint. How many points do you need to calculate the slope? Well, you need 2 points. So if you have 2 points, you could go ahead and calculate the slope of any line. Well, I only see 1 point, and 1 point I'm going to just put down as negative 2, 2. I need another point. And I have it. It's just hidden. Here's the other point. That is the y-intercept. So the y-intercept has an x of 0, negative 12. All right, that is the y-intercept. So now we have 2 points. We could go ahead and figure out the slope of this. So this is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. M equals, I'm going to set myself up, negative 12 minus 2 and 0, x2 minus x1, which is minus a negative 2, and that is positive. I'm going to grab my calculator, and I'm going to press alpha x, negative 12 minus 2 over 0 plus 2, and that is negative 7. So the slope is negative 7. And that's how you do that one. Just remember, when they give you something like this, they're giving you that y-intercept. That y-intercept has 0. It is a coordinate. It's 0, negative 12. That's what you use as the second point, and that's it. Name points in the solution to x to the third minus 3x. And you're basically going to use your calculator for this. So I'm going to bring up the calculator, and I'm going to ask you to press y equals. And you see the y equals here. If anything is there, just go ahead and clear it. All right, so the equation is x to the third minus 3x. So I'm going to press x. X is right here. And then to get to the third power, I could press this caret button, which is right here. All right. And then to the third power. So that would be x to the third power. And just remember, you have to press to the right to kind of get away from the from it being an exponent. So x to the third, and then it's minus 3x. So I'm going to press minus 3x. Now if you press graph, you could see that. Now I'm going to press second function and graph again, and you could see that they have the coordinates. So -6, negative 198. I'm going to go up, and that is a point. You see -6 and negative 198? That's a point on this graph. So I'm going to say yes. And then 0, 0. 0, 0 is down here. Here's 0, 0. That's a point on the graph. Yes. The next one is 210. So I'm going to go down to 2. 2 is not, it's not 210. It's 2. So this is no. And then 12. 12, I'm going to go all the way down to 12. 12, 1,692. 12, 1,692 is a yes. And then 318. And we're going up to 3. You see that the y is 18, and that's a yes. There's only one no. And all those points are on the line. So the only other way to do this is to actually substitute in. You see this y? This is x to the third. So this is -6 to the third power minus 3 times -6. If you put that into the calculator, in parentheses with the negative, you could tell whether or not it's on the line. So I'm going to do that just once here. So we have -6 to the third power, and I'm going to put that in parentheses, -6, close parentheses, to the third power. This is the caret button to the third power, and then minus 3 times -6. So I have to press to the right, minus 3 times -6, and close the parenthesis, and then enter, and it's -198. Notice that that point is on the line. If you substitute in y equals 0 to the third power, that's 0, minus 3 times 0, that is 0, that's on the line. So that's how you could do that using substitution. All right, which function is the y-intercept the largest? Remember, the y-intercept has an x of 0. All right, so the y-intercept has an x of 0. So this y-intercept is b, this is b, so b is 3. Here is 2, that's the b. This is the y-intercept, that's the b. This is the y-intercept, that's the b. Which one is largest? Well, the 4 is largest, so that is the answer. Y equals -5x plus 4. For this one, it just says graph the linear functions. So we're going to convert this into rise over run. And here's the y-intercept. So this is the rise over run, 2 over 1. And the y-intercept is -1. So here's -1. We're going to go down here. And we're going to go rise 2, run 1. Rise 2, run 1. Rise 2, run 1. Rise 2, run 1. Down 2, left. Down 2, left. And then that is your graph. Remember, slope is rise over run. You're going to put arrows on it, and you'll put the line equation, 2x minus 1. So remember, every equation is y equals mx plus b. The b is -1, and the y-intercept is 2. So this right here is your m. This right here is your b. 1/2 is the slope, and y-intercept is 2. So the y-intercept, you start at 2, and then you rise 1, and you run 2. Rise 1, run 2. Rise 1, run 2. Rise 1, run 2. Down 1, left 2. You have to keep that pattern. Down 1 and left 2. And that's it. Just going to get that straight, put arrows on the ends, and then do y equals 1/2 x plus 2. For -3/1, we're going to go down 3 to the right 1, and then -2. So this is your y-intercept. So you start there at -2, and you go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and to the right 1. Up 3, 1, 2, 3, to the left 1, opposite, 1, 2, 3, and to the left 1. And then that is the negative slope. We're going to just go and connect those points, and this is y equals -3x minus 2. Write the equation of each line described below in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. The m is -3, so we have y equals -3x plus 5. So y equals mx plus b is the format that you have to put it in. The m is 1/2, and you put the x right next to it, and then you do -1. Y equals 6x, and that is it. You don't need the plus 0. Identify the slope in the y-intercept. The slope right here is 2. So the rise is 2. The run is 1. So the slope is 2. The y-intercept is 3. So the y-intercept is 3. So the equation would be y equals 2x plus 3. Going down, this one is not done for you, but this is a negative slope right off the bat. You know it's negative. So I'm going to just go ahead and connect those points right there. And we are going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's a -8. And then 1, 2, that's a 2. -8/2 is the rise over run, equals -4. The b is this. That's the y-intercept. It's 1. So the equation is y equals -4x plus 1. Y equals mx plus b. And those two are finished. All right, so it says find the slope and the y-intercept of each equation. Just remember, you have y equals mx plus b. If it's not in that format, you do have to solve. So the m equals the 3, and the b equals the the m equals the slope. I'm giving you the answers to the first one. M is the slope. And the b is the y-intercept. So the m is always attached to the x, and the y-intercept is the other number. So this right here is 3. This with the sign is -10. This right here is in y equals mx plus b, so it's -4. This right here is -3. This is the slope, it's -1. This is the y-intercept, it's 7. This is the slope, it's 1/2, and the y-intercept is 0. This is the slope, it's -2/3. It doesn't matter where you put the negative. If you want to put the negative outside the front of the whole fraction, then you do that. If you want to put the negative with the 2, that's fine, like I did. This is the y-intercept of -2. The -1/7, and then 12. Right, so those were pretty easy, and let's go on to the more difficult ones. Right, this is not y equals mx plus b in 31. It has to be in this format. That means you have to solve for y to get that equation, all right, down, and to identify the slope and the y-intercept. So I'm going to solve for y by subtracting 4 on both sides. Once I subtract 4 on both sides, we get y equals 9x minus 4. The slope is 9. The y-intercept is -4. That's it. You're solving for y because it's not in y equals mx plus b format. You get y equals -8x plus 10. M is -8. Y-intercept is 10. Here is another one that is not in y equals mx plus b format. You have to get the y alone. Subtract 4 on both sides. This cancels. You get y equals -6x plus 3. 7 minus 4. So the slope is -6 and the y-intercept is 3. Again, I put down solve for y. All right, this gets a little bit more difficult. So just remember, in solving any equation, you have to use inverse operations. So you get the 2y alone, you get 10x plus 4. You divide by 2 on both sides. And the y is alone, y equals. Now, when you're dividing, it's 10 divided by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Don't forget to put the x next to it. And then the 4 divided by 2 is 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So y equals 5x plus 2. The m is 5, and the y-intercept is 2. That is it. All right, so if you add x on both sides, you start to get the y alone. You have to solve for y equals mx plus b. I'm going to put the x first, minus 20. All right, doesn't matter. You just put the sign of the number with that number. So this is a -20. This is the x. If you put it -20 plus x, that's fine. But I am going to put the x first. Y equals, there's a 1 in front of this x. So that's a fraction of 1/2. All right, and then this is -20 divided by 2 is -10. So the slope is a half and the y-intercept is -10. All righty. So again, these are more difficult questions. So if you're feeling a little bit lost or anything like that, just remember, you're watching this video, you do step by step. You have to solve for y, so that -5x goes to the other side first. And remember, you're using inverse operations. It's just like solving like you've done the entire time you were with us. And then I'm going to put the 5x plus 6. By adding the 5x, it cancels on the left side and then goes to the right side. You divide by 2, divide by 2, y equals, this is 5/2x plus 6/2. 6/2 is 3. And again, I am dividing this. This is 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. So if you put 2.5, it's okay. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Right? So I'm just going to put 5 over 2, or 2.5. And then the y-intercept is 3. For this one here, again, this starts with this. See this negative 6x? I need to get it over to the other side. And that is positive 6x on both sides. This will cancel. You get 5y equals 6x minus 10. Now we have to get the y alone. It's with the 5. It's attached by multiplication, so that's why you divide. This cancels. You get y equals. You see this fraction? I'm going to keep this fraction, this positive 6 over 5. I'm going to keep that as a fraction, 6 over 5x. And then I'm going to put negative 10 divided by 5 is a negative 2. So the slope is 6 over 5, and the y-intercept is negative 2. Again, I have to solve for y, so I'm going to subtract x on both sides. This cancels. You get y equals negative x plus 8. And yes, I'm putting the x first. That negative x goes first, this 8 goes second, and then so this slope is negative 1, and the y-intercept is 8. You're done. As soon as you solve for y, you're finished. You're adding 5x on both sides. This cancels. You have 3y equals, I'm going to put that 5x first. I'm going to put that negative 9 second. This way, when I solve, it's y equals mx plus b. So we're dividing by 3 on both sides. This cancels. And then I'm going to get y equals, I'm going to keep that fraction. See that 5 over 3? I'm keeping it. I'm going to put the x next to it. And you see this negative 9 divided by 3? That's negative 3. So the slope is 5 over 3. And the y-intercept is negative 3. And the last two on this page, again, you have to solve for y. And this one's actually a little bit easier. It's a negative 2x. You're adding 2x on both sides. This cancels. You have y equals 2x plus 4 minus 4. And then that's y equals mx plus b right there. So I have a slope of 2 and a y-intercept of negative 4. This one's a little bit more difficult. Remember, you have to solve for y. So you're subtracting 5x on both sides. This will cancel. And then you bring down 2y equals, and I'm bringing that negative 5x first, minus 8. You divide by 2 on both sides. This cancels. You get y equals negative 5 over 2 again, x. And then what's negative 8 divided by 2? That's negative 4. So you get negative 5 over 2, or negative 2.5. And negative 4. Remember, solving, you must go and get it into y equals mx plus b format. So it just says write the equation of the line in point slope form and then slope intercept form. Right? So point slope form is this formula right here. So when you see point slope form, it's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, right? That's point slope form. It has a point in it and it has a slope. This is the point, and this is the slope, right? So if you have a point and a slope, that means you have point slope form. So it says rewrite, substitute in. So this, you always go ahead and you label x1, y1. There's no x2, y2, right? So you're not labeling x2, y2. You are substituting into this formula, this point slope formula. It's y minus y1. The y1 is -3, so I put it down here, y minus a -3 equals 2 times x minus x1, which is -1, right? They both become positives because there's double negatives. And that's why I get this. This is, in this bold, is point slope form. Once you get over point slope form, all you have to do is solve for y to get to slope intercept form. Right? So it looks really difficult, but it's not that bad. It's not. Once you get the hang of it, right? So this is distributive property. We all know what distributive property is. So this is y plus 3 equals 2x plus 2. And then you minus 3 on both sides. And you get slope-intercept form, y equals, this cancels, 2x minus 1. And that's y equals 2x minus 1. That is y equals mx plus b. Okay? And that's it. All right, so let's go ahead and see if we could do this one again. So first off, step number 1. You're looking at step number 1, you label the points. Step number 2 is to actually go ahead and write down the point slope formula. Right? So now we're going to substitute in to the point slope formula. So y minus y1, which is a -1, that's plus. All right, equals m. The m is -7, x minus, and it's 1. x1 is 1. That is point slope form. You got the answer. That's it. So now I'm going to go ahead and try to solve this for y equals mx plus b, which is slope-intercept form. This is y equals mx plus b, slope-intercept form. So the first thing that I do is go ahead and distribute. So this is y plus 1 equals -7x. And negative times a negative is positive. Be careful. -1 on both sides. And you get y equals -7x plus 6. That is slope-intercept form. This one here is point slope form. So point slope form is this. Slope-intercept form is this. The reason why they call it point slope form is because it has a point and the slope that they give you, point and the slope in it, and the slope-intercept has the slope and the y-intercept in it. All right. Here's x1. Here's the y1. So I'm going to go ahead and write the point slope formula. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So y minus y1 is -2 equals -2 times x minus x1 is -5. So before I rewrite this, I'm going to rewrite it. I'm going to put the plus plus and the plus plus. Y plus 2 equals -2 times x plus 5. That is point slope form. That is your answer. I'm going to rewrite it one more time. So now I could solve it. And I'm going to distribute. Y plus 2 equals -2x minus 10. Minus 2 on both sides. This cancels. And the slope-intercept form is y equals -2x minus 12. -2 minus -10 minus 2 is -12. And that's slope-intercept form. So you have your two answers right here. This is point slope form. This is slope-intercept form. All right, number 45. again, the first thing you do is label. Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So I'm going to substitute the numbers in. Y minus 5 for y1. The slope is 6, and x minus 2 is x1. That is point slope form. You really don't have to do anything else. There are no double negatives. You go ahead and distribute. Y minus 5 equals 6x minus 12. Then you add 5 on both sides. You do get slope-intercept form. Y equals, this cancels, 6x minus 8. Minus 7. Sorry. Negative 12 plus 5. All right, here we go. So this is x1. This is y1. The m is 3. So I'm going to put down the y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. The point slope form is y minus y1, which is 10, equals 3 as the slope. I almost said 0. X minus 0 as x1. That is point slope form, just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put it down here so I could solve it. I'm going to do distributive property. So this is y minus 10 equals 3x. And then 3 times 0 is 0. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And this is plus 10. Plus 10. Because you have to solve for y. The slope-intercept form is 3x plus 10. Y equals 3x plus 10. So your two answers are point slope form here and the slope-intercept form here. Okay, so the first thing you do is x1, y1. The point slope formula is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. I'm going to substitute those numbers in. There are no negatives, so y1 is just 9 equals, the slope is negative 9, times x minus x1, which is 8. That is your answer for point slope form. We have to solve it for y to get to slope-intercept form. So I'm going to just rewrite it. And I'm going to distribute. So it's y minus 9 equals negative 9x. Negative 9 times negative 8 is positive 72. Careful, negative times a negative. Then you add 9 to both sides. This cancels. And you get y equals negative 9x. Negative 9x plus 81. And that is slope-intercept form. So you have two answers. You have the slope, point slope form, and then the slope-intercept form. All right, we have a couple more to go. Right? Again, you're going to put x1, y1. And you're going to do y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. That's the point slope formula. So when you go ahead and put this directly in, I'm just going to write it up here because I notice I have a negative. Y minus y1 is y minus 12 equals m, which is negative 1 times x minus a negative 6. So the minus and negative will give you the plus plus. And y minus 12 equals negative 1 times x plus 6. All right, I'm just going to rewrite it over here so I could go ahead and put it into slope-intercept form. So y minus 12 equals negative 1x. Negative times a positive is negative 6. And then you add 12 to both sides. This cancels, you get y equals negative x. I'm not going to put the 1. And then this is plus 6. So you have two answers. You have the point slope form and the slope intercept form. The slope is 0 here, and then this is x1 and this is y1. So this is going, the slope is 0. It's a horizontal line. All right, so the point slope form is just simply, remember, it's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So y minus y1 is y minus 7 equals 0 times x minus x1, which is 3. That is the point slope form. I'm going to rewrite it as y minus 7 equals 0 times x minus 3. I'm just going to rewrite it just so I could distribute. So this is y minus 7. 0 times anything. I don't have the distributive property. It's not 0x. It's just 0. 0 times anything is 0. So you're adding 7 on both sides, and you get y equals 7. So this is slope-intercept form. You have two answers. You have point slope form here, and you have slope-intercept form. Remember, it's a horizontal line, so y equals 7 is what you have. All right, you solve them for y, and that's it. All right, so y equals 7 would be your slope-intercept form. So just remember, I just wanted to talk about this just for a second. If you're thinking, oh wow, what is y equals 7? We have a y here and an x here. So a y, if you think about y equals 7, that's this line. All right, that's a slope of 0. The y-intercept is 7 right here. All right, so that's what that would look like. And that's it. All right, so number 50, it says to find the equation of a line that passes through the given points. Write the equation in slope-intercept form. Hint, calculate the slope of the line first. Then follow steps that we did in like number 42. In just the last 8 problems, you follow exactly the same steps. The only thing is, you notice they gave you the m, which is the slope, for all of these questions. They gave you the m. But now, they're not giving you the m. They're giving you the 2 points. So, that's what you would have to key on. And obviously, when you see 2 points, figure out the slope first. All right, so we're going to just go ahead and do x1, y1, x2, y2. Figure out the slope first. So we're going to have m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We're going to set this formula up like this. We're going to have 5 minus 3, negative 2, minus a negative 1. And that's a double negative there, all right, with the positive. So we're going to just put this on the calculator. We're going to press alpha x, and then on the top, we have 5 minus 3. And on the bottom, the denominator, negative 2 plus 1. And you enter. And then the slope is negative 2. So the slope is negative 2. Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Just remember, when you're substituting in y minus, here's my y1, 3, equals, here's the slope, negative 2, x minus x1 is -1 minus a -1. I'm going to put the plus plus. That is your point slope form. All right, so that's one of your answers. So you found out the point slope form. I'm just going to rewrite it and then solve for y. That is messed up there. Y minus 3 equals -2x times x plus 1. So we have distributive property going. We have y minus 3 equals -2x minus 2. And you add 3 on both sides. And here is the slope-intercept form. So you have three answers in this one. You have one, they wanted you to find the slope. The other one, they wanted you to find the point slope form using the slope in x1 and y1. And then the slope-intercept form is right there. Same thing with this one. Again, they don't start you out with an m. They start you out with just those two points. So you have to figure out the slope. So obviously, x1, y1, x2, y2. First thing you do is set up the slope formula. And then your y2 is 10 minus 3 as the numerator. The denominator is 4 minus a -3. So you're going to position your calculator right there as alpha x. And you have 10 minus 3 over 4 plus 3. And that is 1. So the slope is 1. Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. That's the formula. So y minus, well, let's go back up to see what the y1 is. That's 3. Equals, the slope is 1. X minus x1, which is -3. -3 is plus plus. That is your point slope form. I'm going to rewrite it as y minus 3 equals 1 times x plus 3 to give myself some room to solve for y. When I distribute, it's really just 1 times this, which is the same thing. 1 times x is x, and 1 times 3 is 3. Then you add 3 on both sides to solve for y, and you get your slope-intercept form is y equals x plus 6. So again, you have 3 answers. You have the slope is 1, you have the point slope form, and then you have the slope-intercept form. Okay, so we have 3 more problems to do. And again, we're going to just start out with getting the slope as x1, y1, x2, y2, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we're going to set that up with the subtraction symbols in. We have 11 minus 9, y2 minus y1, and then -2 minus 0. So the slope is 11 minus 9 alpha x, 11 minus 9 over -2 minus 0. And we're going to press enter. We're going to get -1. So we put that there. And then we write down the point slope formula. And we're going to substitute those numbers in. So the y1 is 9. The slope is -1. And then the x goes in there. And then the x1 is 0. That is your point slope form. I'm going to rewrite it so I could solve. I'm going to do distributive property first to solve for y. This is negative x. Negative 1 times x is negative x, and negative 1 times 0, we don't need to put that, is 0. You add 9 to both sides, and then the slope-intercept form is y equals negative x plus 9. So again, you have three answers. You have the slope answer, you have the point slope form, and you have the slope-intercept form. We'll go back up to do this one. We have x1, y1, x2, y2. Anytime you see 2 points, basically going to solve for the slope. All right, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we have the setup right here. This is 8 minus 6 and 4 minus 2. When you put that into the calculator, you get 1, which is 2 over 2. The point slope formula is y minus y1 times x minus x1. You're going to substitute the points in. Y minus y1, which is 6, equals m, which is 1 times x minus x1, which is 2. That is the point slope form. So I'm just going to rewrite it, then solve it for y. Y minus 6 equals 1 times x is x, 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. You add 6 on both sides. This cancels, you have y equals x plus 4. So one more time, we have the point slope form, we have the slope intercept form, and along the way we had to get the slope. So this is the last question. What is the point slope equation? The point slope equation for the line that passes through this point right here and has the same y-intercept as this one. All right, so we're looking for point slope equation. So the point slope equation is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. All right, so that's the point slope equation we're looking for. This is the slope intercept form, but so what they give us is this point right here. But to figure out the point slope form, we need, it has the same y-intercept as this. So it doesn't say anything about this having the same slope. It has the same y-intercept, so this is the only thing that you're keying on. So here's another point, 0, 2. So it has the same y-intercept. So the points that you have are these. So let's go through. This is x1, this is y1, this is x2, this is y2. So we're going to figure out what the slope is by just getting just by putting down those 2 points and actually using the slope formula, because it doesn't say that the slope is 5, right? It doesn't say it has the same slope. It has the same y-intercept. So that doesn't mean that the slopes are the same. 2 minus a negative 3, that's plus plus right there. And then 0 minus 2. So if you put that in, that's 5 over negative 2. And let me just make sure, alpha x, and this is 2 plus 3. And then this is 0 minus 2. And it's going to say the same thing that I just said, negative 5 over 2. It is a negative slope. It's negative 2.5 if you're reducing it or changing it to a decimal. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about why this point slope equation. So this is the point slope equation, and I'm going to write it all the way over here. Point slope So you notice that the slope was not 5. All right, so it's y minus, and I put this as my y1, so I'm just going to use it. So this is plus 3 equals, the slope is negative 5 over 2. And then I'm going x minus x1, which is 2. That is the point slope equation. If you wanted to go further and get the slope, slope intercept form, you would just go ahead and distribute the negative 5 over 2 and then solve for y. But that's all they wanted, so that's what we're going to stop at. And that is the end of this giant sheet. All right, I hope that helped. Hope you watched it, and that's it. All right, see you next time.